cooked a few.
And they also
But they-
getting starved.
I just have to say, they might have been
Not
associated with the cook. Like they could have worked with the cook.
So kiddos, we gotta make sure that you guys disregard any mention of not getting fed well enough, because that wasn't necessarily in the text, right? So make sure you take out that when you make your decision. You know you have to make a decision after this, right?
Is this one recorded?
You have to make a decision about whether you put limits on the powers of the captain or not. You're the Naval Review Board, remember? Didn't you read that you get to make that decision?
No, I just read
Oh,
it again.
goodness. Oh, goodness. Okay, that's why I'm saying you can't have an opinion going in. You're supposed to be the jury or the judge. Remember I told you guys that?
Yeah.
But you've kind of acted like you have an opinion already. So you have to try to limit that. I'm putting limits on your opinions. Oh, I got no chair, thanks. I'm just kidding.
Sorry.
All right, the clocks have begun. You may begin.
We believe that the captain should have some set limits.
Such as he can't make decisions on his own. The crew has to have a say.
For example, if the captain thinks that the crew should only have one meal a day, they have to vote whoever has the most vote. They have to vote. Whoever has the most votes wins.
Also, he can't hurt his crew physically or mentally, but he can still punish them.
For example, he can't rip his crew if they do anything wrong.
He can't stop them either. The captain also has to spread his power like a Republican government. He can have a little more power though, like a president.
It is unfair and cruel for a ship captain to have all the power, but the captain should still be able to punish the crew. The crew should still have limits to stop chaos, and therefore it is better for the ship to run like this.
Finally, we believe that the captain should have limits. The ship should be run as a Republican government.
Yep.
Okay.
I have something to add because what they said is one whip wouldn't really damage them, but like one whip in like any specific spot, in a specific spot could cause like permanent brain damage. Because I know that some whips, from my prior knowledge, have like glass shards on them to cut them when they whip them to make it more painful.
Okay. So you guys ready for questions?
Yep.
Yeah.
What are you going to change about the captain's powers?
Well, we would change like things that they couldn't like hurt them by pain. They could still punish them, and they'd have a little bit more power. But they couldn't be like a complete dictator and like an all-powerful person on the ship.
Can I just say something? I know this about the government. We haven't actually learned it yet, but I know that actually the president, the Supreme Court, and there's another one. Congress, yes. They all have the same amount of power. The president does not have more power. He has the power to veto, but he can also send it back, and they can edit it, and they can send
We're
it
just
back.
also saying like that the captain should just have a little more power than the crew.
Yes.
Okay.
But the crew can overrule the
Just going
captain.
against the statement
Just
that it's a
telling
Republican.
you, I don't think it was true that you guys starved.
No, but that was just an example.
Yeah, that was just an example.
Yeah.
That like could
We're
happen.
not
Okay.
saying that it did happen. We're just saying that, like, for example.
Okay, next question. Why do you not trust the captain and
We don't trust the captain because he he hurts the crew for almost no apparent reason, and he's just losing workers that way, and that's just not good for the crew, and it's not good for him because he's losing workers.
And we don't trust the captains because they, like, for one, they kind of have like all the power to themselves, and like they kind of like can do whatever they can do, like almost whatever they want. Like if they just feel like whipping someone, they can just whip them just because they feel like it.
Do they whip you guys?
No, we're not the crew.
Okay, I'm just.
Connor and Michelle, why do you think the captain has so much power?
Maybe because since he's the captain, I think that he should have full control over the entire voyage.
Well,
No. It's why do you think? In your opinion. Okay.
what was the question again? Sorry.
Why do you think the captain has so much power?
Why do you think?
Well, I think that he has like so much power. He can technically like do whatever he wants. Like he can do whatever he wants to the crew.
Like what?
Like he can whip them whenever he feels like it, or starve them, or whatever
But-
he wants to do.
But just so you guys know, he was chosen as the captain. He has the right to do that type of stuff. He can.
But that doesn't mean it's necessarily the right thing to do.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
our argument. That's basically like that we want to change the
I
rules.
think you guys are reading the question wrong. It's like, why do you think that he has the power?
Oh.
Cool.
Well, I think that because he was like appointed by people, but like mainly because of his education, as before stated. But just because he's educated doesn't necessarily mean that like he'll make good choices.
Yeah, he's like the best like captain
And
or
like,
whatever.
and he can also be like acting fine like around the people that can choose it, but then like they don't necessarily like
See
the
the
ship's
truth?
owners don't necessarily see what's happening when they're on a voyage to know what the captain is
Yeah.
actually like.
Yeah.
So they might think that everything's going perfect, but it's really not. They're being like really unfair or something.
Oh, do you have a question?
Yeah.
Ask the question first.
You can go. I just asked it.
So I was going to say, when Cole said something, can you repeat the part about like what he's not allowed to punish, like physically or mentally? Is what he said?
Well, we don't think he can like hurt his crew or like starve his crew. Not that he does, just like the kind
It
As
said
an
that
example.
also he can't like hurt his crew physically or mentally,
Yeah,
but
he
he
can't,
can.
like-
He can still like.
of like he can't like make them feel like
Punish
they're
them.
worthless.
Yeah, like they're worthless.
Wait, I have a
and, like-
question. How would you mentally?
Yeah.
Like he
sure,
can't
sure.
like kind of
Tell
like
them-
insult them or like make them feel bad or
I
sad.
think that there is a certain aspect to punishment, like talking back. If you talk back to your parents, they will probably say like, "Don't do that. That was a wrong decision to make."
Maybe
Well, yeah, but they
like-
wouldn't like whip
maybe
you
when
or
you guys
whatever.
could give a suggestion. Just give them a kind of a warning, maybe like you get a warning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does that count as like mentally hurting somebody, like saying that was a wrong decision in your life?
Well,
No.
it's kind of
Not really.
No, not really, because like the captain we said like should basically just be like a parent. Like it like makes like it doesn't like a parent would never like
Like a
hurt
loving
its
parent.
kid like on purpose. It would just be like that's the wrong thing to do, and then it would just have like a small punishment, not like a huge one.
Kind of like
What I see. Okay. What consequences do you think the captain should give instead of? Like,
possibly they could give
1
them
minute left.
some like disadvantage to make work harder for them to kind of like
Or just like give them more work to do.
like extra things and kind of like possibly like if they do something really bad, we could probably like there's dungeons in the ship I believe.
Oh,
or, like,
yeah.
we could kind of put them in there so they can't like do anything wrong there and they're kind of stuck.
Can we hear something from you that has to do why you think the decision of having a right to like do this, like to
It's all right.
like
'cause
not
your
have the
time's up
captain.
anyway, so you're
Oh,
good.
okay.
Good try. All right. So that's
Steve,
that was off anyways.
this is something about the big thing.